What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. This is a topic that I have been wanting to address for quite some time now. And I think it's an emergency that I address it now. Because unity is the key ingredient to everything and anything we're ever going to achieve. Our lack of unity is why we have not achieved what we should have achieved and be achieving now. We are a people who cannot seem to get it together to just come together under an umbrella and agree and go. That's it. Everybody's got to come with their own individual crap, and everybody's trying to... No, just put on the uniform and march with everybody else. That's it. We've got too many chiefs and no damn followers. You understand what I'm telling you? So, I want to speak directly and particularly to African women before I even read a single word of this. And before I even say that, I want to acknowledge, first of all, that I just realized this is Time magazine, which we do not own. So why is a white publication, hear this, why is a white publication giving a damn about black women being what they are obviously understanding as a subdivision under black men, when we are all in the same struggle together as African people? That's what's real. That's what's real. And so the answer to this rhetorical question, really, because I know the answer, but the answer to that question is they don't. And that this is meant as a tool to divide, to whisper to the ears of African women and say, y'all not being paid no attention to. Now, that would be fine if wasn't shit happening to black men also. But alas, it is. And everybody knows it mostly happens to black men. But such would be the case if it was mostly happening to African women. We would know that, but we would make any distinction, just that it's happening to any of us. So we don't see any hierarchy of suffering amongst our people. We are all at the bottom of the barrel and being seen in the same way by this white devil. That's what we got to understand. So don't be seduced by that, women. What you should be demanding is that the men step up and do more. Tell them you want to stop all this singing and chanting and begging and pleading, that you want them to armor up and get them some heat and some guns and some ammunition and go out and handle the situation and to take justice for our people. That's what you should be demanding. Don't get bogged down to this pettiness about, well, our names aren't being called out and all this. That don't matter at the end of the day. It don't matter. It does not matter. Because when black men achieve victory, it will be for all of us. That our fight is for all of us. But I do wish that our women would require and demand more from the men in the way of fighting for liberation. I do wish that. You don't need to be out in the streets marching with us. You should demand the men pull their damn pants up and get your bitch ass out there and go and fight for us. Up to and including losing your life. Because where we're trying to go requires bloodshed, everybody. Like Malcolm said, no revolution has been fought without bloodshed. Do you understand? So that's how we know we haven't gotten to the point of true revolution. Because everybody's afraid to get hurt. Well, a new day is dawning. And as I told you, in my last piece, I put a link for this brother, Grandmaster J, who just came onto my radar. I didn't know anything. I didn't know he existed. But I hear echoes of my fire in that brother. And he is seated at a point of advantage that I didn't have. I couldn't get my people to come along. I couldn't get my brothers. Well, he's got some cooperation. You understand? He's got some cooperation. And so the best I can do is to find out what he's doing and how he's doing it and see how I can be a part of that. Because I'm a doer, not a talker. And what I see on the surface, just a little bit I know about him so far, that's exactly what I want to be a part of. You understand? Because I told you, even as it related to starting the Black Independence Liberation League, I wasn't interested in being the leader. Because I understand we need to have leaderless organizations. You understand? That everybody needs to be vibing on the same vibration. That way you can't just take out one of us and the whole movement is over. Everybody's got to be at the same level of commitment and fight. Period. That's what it takes. And that the battles our women should be fighting is demanding more of our men. Not whether or not your name is being called out as one of the victims. We know you are out there too, sister. And we should be ashamed, really, that we've not been able to protect you the way that we should have, because we are punk bitches that don't want to break a nail. The white bitch that was in Central Park choking her dog to death, so eager to call and lie on a black man, she can call 911, 3 little digits, and have some more white men show up to protect her physically. And that's what our sisters deserve and should be demanding. We don't take our cues of how much violence or force we use from the very ones that are oppressing us, using every level of violence against us. We respond as we see fit and as the situation calls for. So I would like to see our women demanding more from us. Let us know you want to be able to call a phone number and say, come handle these white motherfuckers for me. You should be able to tell a white bitch, I'm about to get on the phone and tell them a white motherfucker is fucking with me. Just like she could get on the phone and say, I will say an African American man is assaulting me. I need my sisters to be able to make that same call and the cavalry come answering. That's the day I'm looking for. I'm not interested in being bogged down in these little tiny scrimmages from Time Magazine or anybody else. I've said, and I will continue to say to my last breath, I need my women to get on their throne where they belong and stay there. You don't even look down. You don't even look down. But you got to get your ass up there on that damn throne and bark orders, because that's your divine right. Period. And any man that can't understand and accept that, that's not a man, and you need to be over his ass. Period. That's what's real. But we'll read this gratuitously anyway, to see what poison lies therein. Why are black women and girls still an afterthought? Now that's an insult. This word. Hear this now. Because that word suggests we're not even thinking about you at all. Like, it would just be a total surprise to us that there's any suffrage going on for our women and girls. That's like, let's see, I got my car keys. Oh, I forgot my, Little Debbie cake. That would be an afterthought. Our women, who are our cherishers and sustainers, are never an afterthought. Let us be clear. Let us be clear. Let us be clear. Because at the end of the day, all we have is the black woman. And that's all we need. So as I said before, we should be embarrassed that we have put them we've allowed them to exist in an atmosphere where they can even be vulnerable. When Breonna Taylor's door gets knocked down our answer to that needs to be exactly knocking some other doors down and taking somebody else the fuck out. The deep tragedy of it is that our sisters don't have any guarantee that we will avenge them. And that even before it gets to a point of needing to avenge, that we don't even protect. That's a problem. I've said many times when we've seen videos that I've covered and stories that I've covered about our women, something happening to them, and the outrage and the venom that has come out of me over the fact that brothers are standing and doing nothing. Even if we're going to be punk bitches and we're going to allow ourselves to be punked and disrespected, I've said many times, the absolute trigger wire for us, where all bets are off, is when you touch our women or our girls. And to that point, I brought you a video backing up my feelings on that a couple of years ago. There was a Muslim brother somewhere in an airport with his wife. Had two police officers jamming him up for something and whatever, and it was all fine until they touched his woman. Then he unleashed all hell on both of them. And that's the way it should be. Anytime you cannot protect your women and your girls, you are not a man. You are not. And I have said many times, I don't see why black women continue to even put up with us. We're not giving them any incentive to love us or be loyal to us or take us as mates or anything else. Bear our children, be devoted to us, want us. Because what are we giving them? What are we giving them? What? And at the end of the day, if we don't got shit else, they should have a guarantee that we will always put our lives on the line and go to our grave protecting them. Any male under the sound of my voice, any brother under the sound of my voice, not willing to right now, today, die for our women and our girls, don't listen to me ever again. Take your shit. Take your shit. This is not a halfway proposition. It's all or nothing. And we have to see it as that. I always tell you, how you think and speak is how you relate and react. If our women really are the crown of our existence, second only to the one who creates, then we should act like that. We should act like that. But they say it's an afterthought in our outrage over police violence. I remind you, there's a writer, a publisher, and an editor. And this is Time Magazine. We don't own that. So this is White Devil. You see? And then we're going to go down and see if we can find out who wrote it. Because y'all know I'm good for finding out who wrote it and Google their bitch ass and get a picture of them. I'm very good for that. Like no games. This appears in the June 15, 2020 issue of Time. Okay, fine. Contact us. Okay, who wrote the story? I was telling you, nothing appears on a page by accident. There's a writer, an editor, and a publisher. The 100 Talks with Jesse Bird and Jesse Morales Roqueto. Whatever. By Brittany Cooper, bitch. Let's get her in here. Brittany Cooper is a professor at Rutgers University and the author of Eloquent Rage. A black feminist discovers her superpower. Whatever. I want to get into that in a minute. Hold up. Let me see. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to Google. Search Google for Brittany Cooper. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Let's get her in here. There she is. There's Brittany. So she's a bona fide sister. That's fine. That's Brittany. Now, and this black feminine power. First of all, let us be careful, because it comes from a family of 5 women. There's 9 children, I will tell you guys, but 5 of those are girls. And my sister's 1 year older than me. She's about another size up from this sister right here. And sometimes there can be big girl anger, I call it, where you're just mad at the world for everything because they big. You feel me? That's just real. So maybe some of that comes out with her. But specifically, I wanted to address this what they say, Eloquent Rage, a black feminist discovers her superpower. Listen, everybody, because I even hear dumbass brothers talking about they're against feminists and all this. Listen, I brought you in a previous work years ago. I opened the video with the definition of the word feminist. Do I need to do it again? Oh my God, let me do it. Here it is, boys and girls. Feminist, a person who supports feminism, related to or supporting feminism. There's actually a more in-depth definition than that, because I know what feminism is. Being a feminist is just that you agree that women have the same rights and abilities as men, period. That you think they should have the right to succeed and be on the same level as men in the work, in industry and in business and all that other stuff. Basically, you're not hating on women. You understand? So if you came from a woman, your bitch ass should be a feminist. Don't get bogged down into these pseudo interpretations and rearranging the meanings of it and all this other stuff. Forget all of that. Throw that out, everybody. Throw that out. Throw that out. Throw that out. And you can't lay down with a woman or even desire a woman and say you're against a woman getting ahead in any type of way. You need to die off. You understand? So yes, you're a damn feminist. Period. So there'll be no more discussion about it. We're over it. We're over it. What's this say over here? Feminism is a range of social movements. No, it's not. Political movements and ideologies that aim to define, establish, and achieve political, economic, and personal and social equality of the sexes. That last part of it really is what it really is. Forget all these social movements and the other bullshit they mention. All right, and ideologies. Let's see. Establish and achieve the political and economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. Period. Do you think that women should have the same political power as men? Do you think women should have the same economic power as men? Yes. Do you think they should have the same personal power as men? Yes. Do you think they should have the social equality like men? Yes. Then you are a feminist. Done. People try and make it seem like it's something, nefarious or something, and it's not. Period. It's that simple, everybody. So put this down. I don't want to hear shit else. We're done. This is a mute issue. It was murder. You see, when a woman has to stand up here and hold a sign that says, "Am I next?" and she's a black woman, that's an indictment of African men. We should see it as such. Because we should have been out conducting ourselves in a way that that sister would stand up there on top of her SUV with a sign that says, I won't be next. I'm not next. And she should feel that guarantee in her heart, because she will be able to recall in her mind the thousands and hundreds, or whatever the number needs to be, of brothers who have taken it to this white devil physically and shut them down. Finally. So that she can be safe. So we should be embarrassed that she stands up there with a sign that says, am I next? I'm over it. A mother and daughter protest in Summerville, South Carolina on 1 June. Breonna Taylor was an essential worker, an EMT with aspirations to be a nurse. And I want to say this too about Breonna Taylor, everybody, because it occurred to me that, here was a woman who was an EMT. She's the person who's rushing to your side in your most critical hour. Yet, from what I've heard, her body was in that damn house for some 12 hours or more. And nobody gave her any medical attention. The irony. The irony. Just when I didn't think my heart could break anymore over her case, there it was. There it was. With aspirations to be a nurse, she was one of the people whose daily labor of keeping people safe we have come to value anew in the age of COVID-19. In March, Louisville, Kentucky police officers, or white murdering devils, murdered her after their choice to serve a no-knock warrant in plain clothes after midnight was met with gunfire by her boyfriend, you see, who was startled by the intruders. Investigations are ongoing, but no charges have been brought against the white devil murderers. And I want to say this, that brother did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was packing heat. We got to pack more than a penis, brothers. We got to pack more than a penis. Matter of fact, sisters should require it. When you first go out with a dude or whatever you're doing, just say, look, do you carry any heat? If they don't, tell them bounce. Say, well, then you're not prepared to protect me then. I'm a queen. I don't step down from my throne. Come back when you got some heat and you can show me that. But you got to be strong enough to demand it, my sisters. This means nothing what I'm saying. You understand? You're the one with power. I've been begging for years for my sisters. Claim your power. Claim it. Assert it. And demand it. Because then you will end up with real men. Because real men respect that. We can get a cheeseburger all day. A sister don't got no standards. She ain't really looking for nothing. Just is whatever we say, and that's all. You feel, throw some penis and it's all good. That's nothing. That's a dime a dozen. But a woman is what we respect. I'm saying we. I'm not including me in this because I'm a man, and my relationships with women has always been of respect and very healthy. But I'm just using this we shit right now gratuitously. Let us be clear. And by the way, also, somewhere I have a picture of her boyfriend too, and I hadn't seen him, and I figure maybe a lot of people hadn't seen him, so let me see if I can dig up that picture and share it with you guys. That's her dude. That is Kenneth Walker. Alright. That's Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. And you can see Benjamin Catfish eating Trump, or Crump is right there next to him, as usual. Alright. But that's her dude, and that's the one that they said, shot at these white devils, as he should have. You understand? So, like I say, he was doing the two things that were right. A, he was packing heat. And B, he was prepared to use that heat to protect his woman. I got to give him high marks for that. I have to. No matter what else I'm going to find out or whatever else is going to happen, I'm giving it up for that. Alright? So, let me be on record for that. Any country reeling from being involuntary witnesses to the murder of George Floyd by more white devils in Minneapolis, Breonna Taylor's death does not fit the spectacular forms of police killing that we have come to associate with America's nefarious lynching past. As such, the Louisville protests on her behalf after Floyd's death were belated attempts to rectify and recognize the ways that black women are rarely the first thought in our outrage over police shootings, but black women are surely worthy of more than secondary outrage. Rendering black women as the afterthought, there she is with that word again, in matters of police violence necessitated the creation of the Say Her Name campaign in 2015, a perennial reminder that black women are victims of state violence too. Just a second. Show me now the video that we all remember that was viral of something happening to one of our women. Show me that. Show me the Alton Sterling version, female version of Alton Sterling, where the white devil was on his chest and shot him at point blank range while yelling, "Let me see your hands." And we saw him bleed out. We don't have a video like that of a sister, thankfully. Maybe that's what it's going to take for brothers to really understand that we need to go the extra mile to defend our women. Show me the DuBose, what was his name? Sam DuBose video where the white devil shot him and his foot hit the gas and he went down the street and ran into the pole because he was dead, like instantly dead. The fucker shot him. Show me the female version of Sam DuBose. Show me the female version of Walter Scott. Show me the female version of Eric Garner. Show me the female version of any of these killings. I'm trying to help you understand that there's a reason why. In the case of Breonna Taylor, we never saw her. All we've seen is her picture. We know what happened. We didn't see the crime. Show me the female version of George Floyd. Show me the female event of Rayshard Brooks. It's not that we don't know what's happening to our sisters. It's we don't have any big events. So it wouldn't matter. It's happening to our children, but nobody's saying say their name. Nobody's saying that because we don't see it happening to our children. We don't have anything visual that we're seeing. Tamir Rice was the closest we came, so he gets mentioned. Emmett Till wasn't the only boy killed back in his day, but he stands out because his mama said, "No, I'm having an open casket. I want the people to see." So we call his name to this day. I'm trying to put some rationale on this, everybody. And let me also be thorough to say that it would be the same if it was reversed. If we didn't see it happening to the men, our focus would be on the women more. And not that we would think that we're somehow being left out. This isn't a proposition where black men are just fighting for our own safety and, oh, stay off of us, but you can attack our women. I'm hoping nobody under the sound of my voice thinks that shit, because that could not be further from crazy, insane, outrageous. So let us center and focus, because it's very easy to get into sporadic thought. That's why I always tell you, hit that slow motion remote of life. Hit that slow motion, slow it down, and you see things more clearly. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. I just didn't think of it that way. You see? It's very easy to get caught up in the tornado of things. That's why you have to have a calm center that cannot be shaken. Because I tell you, wisdom comes in silence, everybody. If you're just out there loud and reacting to life and its energy, you don't get to the quiet spot of your soul. Therefore, you never hear the whisper. You must silence your soul. Wisdom comes in silence. Wisdom comes in silence. Wisdom comes in silence. So we don't have the closest thing we saw Sandra Bland. She comes to mind because we remember something visual. We remember Sandra, that statuesque queen that stepped out of that car that day, defiant and proclaiming her rights as a human being. Yes. She made an impression upon all of us. She became unforgettable. So when we hear about Rika Boyd who gets shot in a crowd, we don't see it. So it takes more brain power to even remember it because our lists are so fucking long. It's easy for anybody to get lost in the shuffle, quite frankly. We don't have a female version of Mike Brown. We don't have it. Do you see what I'm saying? And sadly, in this age of everything we expect a video in HD for, it will probably just get worse. If we're going to use the word worse. Because what I'm trying to articulate is that this is not a bad thing. This is not a neglect. This is not an afterthought. Our women are not that. I'm trying to offer a cogent and intelligent pathology, really, of reasoning of why this seems to be something that people can pounce upon and point at when there's nothing there but humanality. That's all. There's no sinister plot here to ignore our women. And we have to be careful of anybody like this sister, I guess I'll call her, who's writing for Time Magazine, because she's writing for Time Magazine. Do you understand? And she's got books to sell. You see what I'm saying? So she's going to try and be high drama and visibility. That doesn't mean that what she has to say has any merit to it. Why does it remain so difficult for outrage over the killing of black women to be the tipping point for national protests challenging state violence? I just laid out at least part of the reason that is valid and commonsensical. That's why. Because it just so happens that the big events are caught on tape, and it's usually black men. You even have women saying they're killing our boys. You see black women on television, celebrities and non-celebrities, saying they fear I've even heard sisters say when they knew they were pregnant with a boy, it made them nervous. We know it's slightly different for the women than it is for the men. It just is, because we're the main target, because we can shoot a seed. Do you understand? And let me expound upon that just a little bit more before I go on, because it's important to understand when you talk about population control, the annihilation, the genocide of a people, you've got to kill the men. Because if you just have women, there's no seed, so no children will be coming forth. But every moment that there's a man walking around with a penis sling between his legs, it can fire another generation into some woman You see? So they're after all of us, let's be clear. But their main target, we all agree, seems to be black men. Philando Castile, another one. Because we saw it. But they didn't shoot Diamond. Huh? Probably would have been different had she been the one saying, well, officer, I have a gun that I do carry in my purse and, I have a permit for it. Probably would have been different. But the moment he knew this black man even said the word gun, it triggered him. So let's be realistic about everybody. Let's not allow ourselves to be thrown off the rails. You understand? And so this is one of our own, I use that in quotations, writing this to throw us under the bus and cause division. One argument is that the spectacle of video, here it goes. Okay, the spectacle of video makes our outrage easier to access. We watch men like Eric Garner, Walter Scott, Philando. Damn, you guys know I don't read anything in advance, and here she is saying my shit. I just said this. I just finished lecturing this. Well, let's hear what she's going to say. We watch men like Eric Garner, Walter Scott, Philando Castile get killed by police on video while doing nothing that warranted lethal force or any force at all. Those killings displaying the murderer's clear disregard for black life and distrust of black people's intentions, conjure racial terrors of old, of men hunted, paraded, humiliated, and murdered for sport, often by police or with police as willing spectators or participants. And I have to go to Ahmaud Arbery as well. We saw that. We saw it. But when black women and girls like Ayanna Stanley Jones, Tanisha Anderson, Tatiana Jefferson, and Charlena Lyles are killed, it is often out of the public eye. She just made my case for me. So she should have stopped writing right there. And anything she's going to write after this should be an apology for her title. And then took her ass back to the buffet and continued grazing. Do you understand what I'm telling you? She just made my case. It is often out of the public eye. Done. The defense rests. And in a world where the pains and traumas that black women and girls experience as a consequence of both racism and sexism remain structurally invisible and impermeable to broad empathy, these killings recede from the foreground quickly. And I want to say this also. Let us understand, and I have articulated this more times than my tongue will work. I'm sick, because it's not just about us being murdered. So we may hold the record on the numbers as far as how many of us are being killed next to our women. But let us be clear. When one of us dies, the whole family dies. Because then we have to see that black mother or that black wife or that black girlfriend stepping to the mic, and she's got to get the attorney, and she's got to be shuttled around the earth with Al Sharpton and Lee Merritt and, Crump and all of them. It is the black woman who is praying for us. She's the one there trying to scrape up bail when we're arrested. This bitch doesn't know what she's talking about. And she doesn't know the black community, and she needs to sat her fat ass down is what she needs to do. That's my diagnosis. I'm getting worked up. To blame this lack of public focus on a lack of video is disingenuous. No, it's not, bitch. Given that the Black Lives Matter movement exploded in the wake of two killings for which there was no filmed evidence. Those are Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown. No, bitch. No. We saw the video of Mike Brown's body laying out there for fucking 8 hours. So sat your fat ass down on that. Alright? We have the 911 call of George fat ass should have been 6 feet under a long time ago, Zimmerman's bitch ass. It was more present to us. Do you understand? She's trying to make a case where there is no case, everybody. Where there is no case. Where there's no case. You understand? There's just no case. And let us also add this. The black woman is the physically most beautiful entity, human, angel, whatever you want to use, that is going to walk this earth. And women have a certain je ne sais quoi. So, when a brother is pulled over and encounters the police, there's a challenge there. That white devil feels inferior to that black man, and so he has to prove that he's better than him or subjugate him in some kind of way. But the black woman, her very presence can be disarming. Simply because she is a woman. And for most males, certainly this white devil, it's easier to exact violence on another man than it is on a female. I think everybody buys that, no matter what their stripe. You don't really crinkle when you hear about two dudes that got into a fight. And you just kind of move on like it was nothing. But if you hear about a dude has struck a woman, that makes you stop. Wait, that's not cool. What? Your whole energy is different when you're just hearing that. Just hearing it. Just hearing it. Now, having said that, we've seen some videos of these white fucking devil-ass police punching black women. We've seen that. I have. I've seen them. I've seen them. I've seen them. We just had, subhanAllah, we just had in Florida, there was in an airport, there was the fucking white devil-ass cop. They claim he was black. If I have to squint, like I tell you, if I have to squint, you ain't black. We just have to draw ranks, everybody, period. We can't have I'm mixed and no, bitch, pick a side. And then act thusly. You don't get the credit without the work. You understand? All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And just because you black don't mean you black. You got to show me something. I got to hear you talk. You know where your mind is at. You understand? But there he punched her in the face. Punched the sister in the face. Sadly, we don't know her name. But everything about that made me want to find his house and kill him. So we've seen that video. You see. Let's go on with her lies and distortion. To blame the lack of public focus on a lack of video is disingenuous, given that the Black Lives Matter, okay, Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown, I already just squashed her shit on that. All right, we have that. Meanwhile, we haven't even seen the body of Breonna Taylor. You see what I'm saying? Instead, there is an extant narrative that helps us understand, even if uncomfortably, why black men keep getting killed. The narrative also allows for other actors besides black male victims and cops who kill. The narrative also allows for other actors besides black male victims and cops who kill. In late May in Central Park, when Christian Cooper took a video of the white whore threatening to call the cops on him, an African American man, the lynching script of lying white bitches putting black men in mortal danger for their own nefarious purposes flashed before our eyes. The murder of George Floyd merely confirmed that what black people have always known. And what the white whore demonstrated that plenty of white people know also, that the cops routinely harm black people for the thinnest of reasons or no reason at all. Okay, so you're off topic now. Keep making your case. But at no point in our replaying of the lynching script, what with its accreting black male victims, overzealous cops, and devious white bitches, do we ever think about how black women fit into the story? Well, you see how she's reaching here, everybody? So when we see this lying white whore choking her dog out and saying, I'm going to call the police, well, we're supposed to stop thinking about that. Think about how black women fit into this story, everybody. Stop thinking about, when you see Mike Brown laying out there, think about how black women fit into this. I mean, she's being ridiculous. She's just being ridiculous. She's just being ridiculous. I'll read it again. Where did I... Okay. Where the fuck? Oh. But at no point in our replaying of the lynching script, as if it's a script, what with its accreting black male victims, overzealous cops, and devious white bitches, do we ever think about how black women fit into the story? It's a nonsense statement. Femininity is a weapon only if you're white. Black women have no such protections. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend tried to take care of his partner, but could not. Well, she's being insulted. There's a few things to unpack there. First of all, when she's femininity is a weapon only if you're white. No. Our women use their femininity against us every fucking day, bitch. So let us be clear about the fairness on that. Alright. But that doesn't have to be something nefarious. And as I say, I think women should use just the fact that they're a woman. You understand? You have power, damn it, use it. But don't be nefarious. So she's wrong there. And she also joins my point that I've said already, that yes, there should be an equivalent cavalry that black women can call, or even our children or anybody else, when they have been wronged, disrespected, or stepped to by this white devil. There needs to be a cavalry they can call that will come and handle it with force. So she's denying her own individual power in that statement, and also, she could have used that to say what I said. Instead, she goes the opposite direction. She says femininity is a weapon only if you're white. I don't agree with that. And I also already articulated, long before we ever fucking read this, I said that the interaction for most men, even if they are white devil, black women are just more disarming. Their voice sounds different than ours, for God's sake, even. So it's just going to be a different interaction, and in most cases, I should say, or at least in some, whatever equation you're most comfortable with. All right, but she's just dead wrong there, and I'll call her fat ass on it. Black women have no such protection. Well, I've already articulated that they need that. And then she insults the valiant efforts of Breonna Taylor's boyfriend by saying, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend tried to take care of his partner, but he couldn't. No, she could have just said he tried, but was not successful, or was outgunned. He shot one of these devils. He gets a fucking Bronze Star for that shit from me. And a Purple Heart, or whatever else the hell they give out. He gets it. I said already, he had heat and was prepared to use it to protect his woman. But she meant that to be shade. We keep missing the intersections of race and gender when it comes to black women. Nah, Heffa, you're missing it. Because there's only the intersection of gender. We all understand we black folk with the same damn history and the same struggle. So if you're not gonna try and make that a two-headed animal, like die off, bitch. Like I'm over it. We keep missing the intersection of race and gender when it comes to black women, and I just notice a lot of these wannabe female intellectuals, black. That's one of their favorite words now. Intersection. They love that. Just listen to any of them talk, you'll hear it. But right there at that intersection stands a 17-year-old black girl named Darnella Frazier. She filmed George Floyd's murder. Like Ida B. Wells before her, she bore witness to the extra-legal killing of a black man and made sure the world heard the story. For her trouble, she experienced online harassment from people who wondered why she didn't do more. I wonder why Derek Chauvin's colleagues didn't do more. You see, she's just an angry fucking lady, dude. She's just angry. Now, to her point, she's resurrecting Ida B. Wells and all of it. That's fine. Darnella Frazier. Now, somebody tell me the name of the person who filmed Eric Garner. I'll wait for it. You're going to tell me, because I'm sure, according to her logic, we know that name and everybody has a tattoo of it. But we wouldn't have Darnella Frazier. We just wouldn't have it. But I'm sure there's going to be 50 people now that are going to type the name of the person who filmed Eric Garner. Tell me now the person who filmed Walter Scott. I'll love to wait for it. I'm sure we all know it. Tell me now the name of the person that filmed damn it. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. My brain just went flat. Nurse! My point is, to dig myself out of this brain fart, my point is, everybody, is rhetorical, really. I'm sure you know it. The fact of the matter is that we really don't know the names of anybody that films anything, and we really don't care. We're not even focused on that. Nobody is. We're just not focused on it. Who filmed it? We don't care. Now, is it noteworthy? Absolutely. Am I glad to know who this sister is? Yes. She filmed something very important. And what they say, she's 17. And anybody that would have said, why didn't she do more and all that stuff, like, give me a break. Like, I don't think that would have been an outcry from black people. I bitched that the other people that were standing there could have done something. People I heard that were saying shit. Male voices. The Jedi is consistent. And righteousness is the only thing that moves or provokes me and that I respond to. So, go back and watch my videos of George Floyd. And you'll hear me ranting and bitching that they're not doing anything. And that I've consistently said, we're fine if somebody wants to stand there and film it, but everybody else needs to act. I've said that till I'm blue. So I don't care if it's Darnella Frazier or her mama, it really wouldn't have been noteworthy. It is and it's not at the same time. I think what I'm really trying to say is that we can appreciate the 17-year-old sister, but to be indicted now by this bitch in her article in Time magazine is not going to stand well with the Jedi. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. She's trying to make something out of nothing for the sake of an article and to stoke division in the African community, and for that she needs to be fucking chastised for. And then you're going to compare our people standing there not doing anything to the other white devils that were with the head murderer. You're going to try and make that equal, bitch? Really? Because, excuse me, they had guns. And if my people do what I've been trying to tell you to do since 2014, you would have guns too, and you would have drew down on these motherfuckers saying, let him up right now. We don't want no problems, but let him up. Or we pull the trigger. Done. So you have to look at this thing holistically. You don't say, well, they didn't stand there, they stood there and didn't do anything while she was filming, and so you're going to try and equate that? I would wonder why Derek Chauvin's colleagues didn't do more. She needs to die off, dude. She's trying to get a Pulitzer, I guess. because she's clearly in bed with Massa. Like Rachel Gentile, Trayvon Martin's classmate and friend who was forced to listen to him being brutally attacked. She was forced to do that? They made her stay on that. You will listen to him being murdered. Do it. You stay on your own phone in your house where nobody's threatening you, and you make yourself listen to Trayvon, according to her fat ass writing the article. I'll read it again in case I missed something. Like Rachel Gentile, Trayvon Martin's classmate and friend who was forced to listen to him being brutally attacked while she talked to him on the phone, according to this whore. Only to be subject to derision and harassment both by white audiences who called her unintelligent because of a speech impediment and black audiences who were ashamed of her for not being articulate enough. Here is another black girl calling the nation to account. Stop right there, bitch. First of all, Rachel Gentile was a disaster. You understand? But one can make that statement and then also demonstrate the case for the pathology. You understand? So I say, yes, Rachel Gentile was a disaster area. Yes, damn it, yes. But she didn't just appear out of a puff of smoke. You have to get into socioeconomics. You have to go back to the educational accomplishments of her family and her lineage going back generations. She obviously doesn't come from scholars and brain surgeons. Do you understand? You're limited by what you are exposed to. If you don't know, there's a lot of people that live in the world and never get off their own block, everybody, never get out of their hometown. How they see the world is affected only by the internet and television. They ain't been nowhere. Never been on an airplane. So we can call it and also define it. So yes, she was a disaster. Yes, we wish she had been more articulate. Yes. For her own sake before you even get to us. Because she was under the hot lights of the media and the scrutiny. She wasn't sophisticated, but she ain't the only one. She's not. And there will be more Rachel Gentiles, and there are more, quite frankly, because of another pathology. We've allowed this white devil to tell us that it's wrong to spank your children. So, the quality of our child and their character immediately diminished over the years, just from that alone. We stopped shaming the young brother who would go out and even dare to get a female pregnant. That used to be something you just didn't do. You just simply didn't do that. You just didn't do that. And young females knew the worst thing you could do is go out and get pregnant and bring shame to the family. Talk to anybody from Africa. They'll tell you right now, from any country, they'll tell you they don't understand this. Like, there's no such thing as you have a baby and you're not with the mother. What is that? This is an African living in America construct. Because there is no order of respect to the elders anymore. So therefore, because you're having children younger, you have dumber and dumber people having children, and they have nothing to teach those children, so those children end up being Rachel Gentile. Do you understand? That's how you get a Rachel Gentile. That's how you get it. There it is. That's how you get it. So she's just stupid. And she's an author? Why am I not on the bestsellers list? I want my agent. There is nothing we can do for Breonna Taylor now. save pursuing justice for her family and remembering her life. But for Darnella Frazier, for Rachel Jeantel, there is everything left to do. We must begin to recognize that they are worthy of care, love, and outrage too. Nobody's saying they're not. But in order to do that, we have to commit to seeing black women and girls, whether they are asleep in their beds, chatting with their friends, or holding the camera, pleading with the police. Well, I want to say this too, to what was the bitch's name again? Brittany. That's a problem, but I'll get over it. Listen, everybody. There's a writer, an editor, and a publisher. And according to her dossier, let's look up Brittany again, since she wants to indict people. You understand? Because she didn't include a picture of Breonna Taylor in her article. Huh? Where is Darnella Frazier? Where's her picture at? Huh? Why is that not included in the Time article? Brittany? Huh? What's good for the goose shall be good for the gander. You understand? If the Jedi has anything to do with it. Let's get her in here. What's all her accolade? Let's go back and click on the Wikipedia. An American author, teacher, activist, and cultural critic. And you're writing for Time magazine, and you couldn't have them to include a picture of Darnella Frazier and Breonna Taylor? Huh? Instead, you have who? A mother and daughter protest and somebody who nobody knows. Just random. We don't know them. But you bitched at the whole black community about our lack of concern over our women and our girls. And you keep highlighting Breonna Taylor insulted her boyfriend, castrated African men throughout the entire article practically, and not one picture of the very people that you speak of in your article. Sat your fat ass down in the back on the left. I'm over it. Listen, I end where I began, to say to my women yet again, this is not a neglect. You're not an afterthought. And as you can see, she was failed in trying to overcome what is just the damn truth. She knows like I know. First of all, our list is too long for anybody to remember. Then on top of that, if we don't have something that reaches a certain ire, or there's not a video, all of us, including our women, are bound to not remember it. That's just what's real. That's what's real. That doesn't mean that the knowledge of an incident does not rest somewhere in the memory of ourselves, in our bodies. We all carry this. We carry it. As a people, we carry it. We just do. You know? There are incidences that we just remember the energy of, but we can't remember the name. We don't know the state it happened in. We won't remember when it was. We just don't remember. You know? Maybe she should have been saying, hey, how about we start a national registry so that nobody forgets any of the names going forward of anybody. I don't know the name of the little girl that was tackled by the police at the police party down in Texas a couple years ago. I don't remember her name. I remember it though. I did several videos about it. I was just as outraged at that as I am with anybody touching any of our people for any fucking reason. Leave us the fuck alone. It's how I feel about it. But I don't remember who that was. I don't remember. There was another incident at some pool where there was, I remember there was some fighting or something at a gate, and it's kind of like, I just don't remember. There was something else, but there's always something. There was a pregnant sister that was, being harassed to the ground. She was clearly pregnant. I think she had dropped somebody off at school, and that was it. And anyways, I don't remember her name. I don't remember when it was or what state it was in, but I remember the energy of that. And I know I did videos about it. So let's put down anybody trying to gin up this competition or making our women feel like they're just not suffering enough to be noticed and shit. Count your blessings, my sisters. Count your blessings. Count your blessings. Count your blessings. But also begin to stop giving yourselves over so easily to the graces of men for relationship or pleasure or friendship or anything else without establishing demands as a woman. Men will be better when women require it. If you're not requiring that brother to go out and take revenge on the lives of our people, and you still gonna give him some and feed him 3 meals and let him lay up, it will never happen. That's what's real. You need to demand, not ask, demand more of men. Demand more. Demand. And as I've said, and I'll say again to brothers, we're only as good as our ability to protect our most vulnerable, and that's our women and our children. We don't need white people to give us permission or a written policy for us to assert that it's one thing you put your hands on and manhandle and disrespect us, because that shit's gonna come to an end too. But all bets and all civility is off the moment you even breathe hot air on our women or our girls. This is the Jedi.